What's up, guys? Brian Grossman here with the Grossman's Country Life, and on today's build we're going to be building some garden planters out of these reclaimed deck boards that I got from my son and daughter-in-law's old pool deck that we tore up. Now these are fairly new treated boards, so they don't contain any arsenic or anything like that. They're treated with what I believe is copper sulfate now. And from everything I've read and researched, these are perfectly fine to use for garden planters. If you want to build garden planters and you're concerned about using treated, then obviously you can use cedar. That'll last you a while. You can use just untreated pine. Of course, that's going to rot pretty quickly. Or you can use treated boards like these and put some kind of liner in them if that makes you feel better. But I'm perfectly fine building them with these reclaimed boards. And I'm looking forward to doing this because this is, I am going to build some of these for my house as well. But this one in particular is for my father-in-law. My father-in-law does a ton of stuff to help me out, always willing to jump in whenever I need a hand working on something, or if I need a tool that I don't have, or need to use his little compact tractor that you see me use here on the channel. He's always more than willing to help out and let me use whatever he has. So in return, I'm gonna build him these planters because he loves doing a garden, but his tiller has been down for a while. And honestly, he's just getting it to the point to where he doesn't like to fight the tiller breaking the ground up. He has a hard time bending over for any period of time. And so by building these a little raised, they're gonna sit on the ground, but he's gonna get about 16.5 inches of raised on it. We're gonna put dirt in there, topsoil. It'll make it easier for him to be able to pick those tomatoes and bell peppers, that kind of thing. And we're gonna make them, I think we're gonna make them 8 foot long by 2 foot wide and do 2 of those. Originally, I was gonna do just one big 4 foot by 8 foot. And these aren't gonna have a bottom in them. They're gonna sit directly on the ground. But originally I was gonna do one big one, but then I got thinking he might have problems trying to get into the middle of that and pick on the backside of some of those plants. So I think it'd be better just to do 2 narrow 2 foot ones that we can space out. He can walk between them and pick off each side and not have to try to reach across, a 4 foot span. So that's the plan. We're gonna dive right in. I've already cut a few of these to 8 foot. The hardest part is getting some of these old deck screws and stuff out of them. But I'm gonna need 3 more of these 8 footers, and I may be good on I got some 4 foot pieces left over. These were 12 foot originally, so I got some 4 foot pieces over here I'm gonna cut in half for our 2 foot width. And I think once we get 3 more of these 8 footers, and we'll have the extra 4 foot sections, we'll be good to build one of these, which is all I'm gonna work on today. We'll build one, then I gotta figure out how much topsoil I'm gonna need, and I wanna try to get this thing all set up for him and kind of surprise him with it. So that's the goal, that's the plan. Let's get started. All right, first thing we gotta do is find 3 more suitable boards. And that one looks good other than having a crap load of deck screws in it. That one's pretty good. Doesn't have quite as many screws maybe. That one's, this one here. Oh, here we go. This one don't have a whole lot of screws. We want it for sure. All right. Okay, we got our 2 8 foot sides, or the boards for our 2 8 foot sides cut. Now what I want to do is kind of tie these together into one long piece or side, and we're going to do that by, I'm going to take some scrap of these decking boards, rip it in half so you got about 2 3/4 inch strips, and we're gonna put some strips to hold these together on the ends, and probably maybe one in the middle, and then split the difference on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips to hold this all together as one side before we kind of put the whole box together, and we'll do that on each side. So I'm gonna use several strips. I'm gonna have to rip several of these scrap pieces. This should be about 16 and a half, but with some gap. Let me get my tape measure. So these strips are gonna need to be, 16 and a half. Some places it's a little wider, but we'll just try to squeeze those together as best we can when we put those strips on. All right, so I'm gonna cut some of those and have those ready, and we'll start assembling these sides. 16 and a half. All right, on this first board on the edge here, you can't see, but I'm actually gonna leave an inch overhang on the end, and you'll see why, but it's just to where the other piece will butt up against it, the other trim piece, when we put this thing all together, like so. And so we wanna, and actually I guess I could just shoot these together. That would be the easiest thing. Let's do that. Yeah, let's put these to go ahead and put these angles together, and then I can just butt it up there and square those ends up using this. And I'm using 1 5/8" decking screws for this. And if I had both of my drills, I still ain't got my other drill back from my daughter's. If I did, I would drill a pilot hole first. But honestly, the softwood, it shouldn't be an issue. If it splits, and we'll back up and regroup. But there we go. Now we can do this right here, and we'll be in good shape. And that all lines up good. So. Good deal. About 2 feet. It's 25 inches on the end there. 2 feet. Kind of make sure closing that gap as much as possible. We'll do this. There we go. If you're really worried about looks, you could drill these in from the other side, but I mean, again, this is not a beauty piece. This is function. All right. Go 4 foot to the middle, or 49 inches since I'm 1 inch long on the outside there. All right, now we're just gonna flip this around, do the same thing to the other side. We can balance it from there. All right, now, if it's not clear already, and I don't guess I really said it, but this is gonna be the outside. And I mean, I guess you could have went either way, but I'm gonna put a top board on this, kind of a lip all the way around. And so these are gonna help support that on the outside. So So yeah, that's the thought behind those being on the outside. But at this point, I won't bore you with watching me do. I got to do another one of these exactly like this, and then we'll work on the 2-foot connectors or the 2-foot sides and get this thing kind of shaped up into a box. All right. All right, so now we're to the part where I just need to cut 6 total 2-foot boards, 3 in this side, 3 in the back here, screw those in to the corners there, and this thing is together. Then we still got to do a top rail, and what I'm probably going to do as well, just because there's going to be a lot of soil in here, is I'll put a cross piece from here to here in the middle, turned vertically, and I may do pocket hole screws since I've already got these in the way, or I could do long screws and shoot them in there, or I could offset it just a little, it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna put a cross piece in here at the top, maybe at the bottom as well. Just go ahead and do both, and just kind of tie this middle end together so the soil and water and everything doesn't push these sides out any. So let me get the 2-foot boards cut for each end, and we're gonna wrap this thing up here pretty quickly, I believe. There we go. Flip the camera around, we'll get this other side. Okay, so this was a little overkill, but I had a piece of scrap and I figured, why not? So we're gonna put this in there for support. I'm gonna take out these shorter screws in the top and shoot in. I got a few of these 3-inch screws. Well, very few, but I can find something else over there. But we'll put 3-inch screws all the way through and into this thing. And that's gonna just provide some wall support for this. Man, I'm getting dry for these things. All right, I think for the top rail, I'm gonna do the same thing I did for these pieces on the side and rip a piece in half. That'll give me a 2 3/4 inch. If I line it up even with the inside here, that'll give me about 3/4 of an inch overhang over these stiles, if you want to call them that. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, guys, there you go. Definitely nothing fancy, but this thing should work great. I mean, I think it's gonna be plenty sturdy. It'll allow him to plant at least 4 tomato plants in this, or a couple tomato plants, a couple peppers. And I think I'm gonna go ahead, I'll see what he says, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and build him another one so he can do a little bit more. He don't wanna do a big garden, but he wants to plant a few things, and I think this will help. Time those tomatoes get up, in cages, he won't have to bend over so much, and he'll just be able to walk around and pick anything he needs without doing a lot of bending over, squatting down, and all that. So I think he's gonna love these. I know he is. I'm gonna go ahead and get him some, either I'm gonna buy a bunch of bags of potting soil, or there's a local place here where I can fill up the back of my pickup truck, which I'm sure will be a lot cheaper. I'll check with them on some topsoil and yeah, we'll get this thing filled up. Well, actually, I'm gonna try to load it in my truck now, take it up there to his garden area and drop it off, and see how long it takes him to notice it. But very cool. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about doing something for him because he's always doing stuff for me. So I hope he gets a lot of enjoyment out of it. I hope this was beneficial to you as well. If you've considered planting some garden boxes of your own, this is a pretty simple build, all reclaimed lumber. So it didn't cost me much other than a bunch of screws. And yeah, enjoyed it. Enjoyed putting it together. Enjoyed sharing it with you guys. And as always, I will catch you on the next video.